On 32 FM 94.9.
Hello and welcome to yet another time on the Break It On newspaper review. The station here is 32 FM 94.9, the station that is filling the world with laughter. My name is OLUTAYO. Welcome once again to another edition of your Morning Tonic. Good to have you.
My name is DELE ADEYANJU. Thank you so much for your time. Good morning. This morning I have four papers: The Punch, The Daily Post, The Independent and The Vanguard newspapers.
My usual suspect: Premium Times, Daily Trust, The Guardian newspaper and The Nation newspaper.
Headlines this morning from The Punch: Why I faked my own kidnap. 24-year-old teacher confesses. Twitter, Facebook block Trump over Capitol attack posts. Reps consider legalizing hemp cultivation. Registration for traders. Magu, presidency delays action on Salami's report. We need to think urgently how to save Nigeria quicker. 14 killed as cement-laden truck bus crash in Kogi. Zamfara community disagree with army on killing of 220 bandits. SARS officers detained us for 73 days demanding we implicate Saraki. Petitioners. Federal government needs over 2.44 trillion naira to vaccinate 165 million Nigerians. And 70 Life High School suspects already arraigned. That's according to the police. Sultan's JNI tackles Krika, says Christmas sermon targets Islam. Shore's arrests may give Biden poor impression of Buhari, ex-US ambassador. Ondo couple, former kidnapped abductors demand 10 million naira. Also, Bello meets Buhari, expresses frustration over Niger's worsening insecurity. Yoruba actress Orishabumi dies. Abdulrazak Kosoko others mourn. 3 persons raped daily in Gombe, says CP. OPC slams Buhari over hike in electricity tariffs. Cocoa House lift crashes during installation, kills 1. And police kill suspected kidnapper, arrest rapists in Gombe. Man who escaped from Edo prison arrested in Ogun. Capital invasion. U.S. Senate reconvenes to certify Biden win. Attack on U.S. Capitol incited by Trump. Shameful. That's from Obama. Bill Clinton blames Trump lawmakers for Capitol riots, and trespassers defy court orders. Occupy land awarded to business women.
Well, let's see some more from Premium Times. Pro-Trump protesters breach U.S. Congress building. VP Pence lawmakers evacuated. 14 die in accident on Lokoja Kaba Road, FRSC. Nigerian soldiers flocked me, cut my hair for having dreadlocks. Footballer Boko Haram attacks Gaydam town in Yobe. Commissioner flees as court remands 2 directors over 1.7 million naira loan. Let's see some more from Premium Times. U.S. crisis, explosive devices found in Washington, D.C. NIN, NCC denies plan for mass disconnection of subscribers. FCT gets acting chief judge. Paternity scandal, FCMB appoints acting MD. UI says Obaseki certificate not forged. 2023, Oshoba speaks on zoning Tinubu Igbo presidency.
All right, moving on to the Daily Post newspaper. Why God rejected Trump permits Ayodele. Washington curfew as Trump supporters protest after never to concede vow. Also, military attacks Boko Haram kills scores in Borno. Military attacks Boko Haram kills scores in Borno. Strange deaths reported in rivers. NIN linkage. NCC clears air on mass disconnection of telephone subscribers. Buhari sends message to Catholic community over death of Archbishop Jatau. Breaking: suspected Boko Haram incidents reportedly attacked Gaydam town in Yobe. Mike Pence rejects Trump's demand to annul Biden's victory. Nigerian journalist Babajide Oshokoya is dead. And Unilag loses another professor. COVID-19, Abia government warns residents as second wave worsens. Still from the Daily Post, of a robbery, Saraki reacts as petitioners claim SARS tortured them to implicate him. Luth warns Nigerians as second wave of COVID-19 spreads faster. Described as extended tenures, giving heads of civil defense, immigration, prisons, and Abia topping in promotion of SME in Nigeria. Ikpeazu's Deputy Chief of Staff, Agupai Ekwemadu, we are disappointed in you. Enugu Community Reps member Asadu. Military details activities of Operation Sahel Sanity against bandits in Northwest. Lagos Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat loses brother to COVID-19. And finally, federal government 774,000 jobs will tackle insecurity. Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero.
And from Daily Trust, Buhari meets APC Ketket Chairman, Kogi Governor. Niger Governor rules out negotiation with the bandits. Insurgents burn over 30 buildings in Borno village. Block market or makers threaten strike over cement price hike. Boko Haram attacks Gaydam, cuts away food items. Gas explosion rocks Rivers community. Farmer bags 1 year imprisonment for killing cow in Ondo. Let's see some more from Daily Trust. 22 die in Kogi Road crashes. More guns on the streets won't make Nigeria safer. Of hate and viral videos. The Ebonyi Fulani eviction that didn't happen. We'll have more from here. From the business side, consumers groan over high electricity tariff. Safety of health workers under COVID-19 something from the editorial of Daily Trust. Stock market rebound with 36 billion naira gain. Customs generate 1.56 trillion naira to deploy 7 scanners. Let's see another paper.
Moving on to the Independent newspaper now. NIMC announces charges for card renewal. Others, pandemonium as explosion rocks Rivers community. Ancon may wind down investments at Aero contractors. Also, U.S. Capitol on lockdown as pro-Trump protesters turn venue. COVID-19 second wave claiming many lives. Luth CMD laments traditional rulers, locals harboring bandits. Bello, Governor Tambuwal swears in new head of service. Yahaya Bello sympathizes with victims' relations as auto crash claims 14 lives in Kogi. Honors and encomiums adorn Fagbon's last days in Lasu. And COVID-19, Cross River government inaugurates CARES committee. We are going to be ruthless with traditional rulers harboring bandits. Governor Bello and Ondo University. Governor Akerelolu extends tenure of acting VC.
Let's see some more headline from the Guardian newspaper. Facebook and Twitter block Trump for breaking rules. Oxygen crisis hits Nigeria's COVID-19 response scheme. Let's see some more here. Another setback for Nigerian football. Golden Eaglets beaten in Togo. Enyimba out of CAF Champions League. CJN inaugurates Garba as FCT acting chief judge. Obiano approves 10 new PEMSEG. Bochu ready for judicial autonomy, says Governor Mohammed. Be courageous to hand over power in 2023. Wike tells APC. Ekerimadu not attacked in Enugu, say attorney organizers. Varsity Council names Fashino for your new VC. Let's see some more from still from politics. Despite peace meeting, Southeast APC remains fractured. Okonkwo optimistic PDP will win Anambra Guba. And from the sports side, Messi back to his best in Barca over Barca win over Bilbao. School sports will be our focus this year, says Lagos Sports Commission. From the business side of the Guardian, federal government removes VAT from airfare aviation services. NSC announces CEOs for emerging entities. Huriwa's position on service chief sponsored anti-people, say Northern Elders. Huriwa's position on service chief sponsored anti-people, say Northern Elders. Zuma 2020 has opened new vista for Nigerian film industry.
And finally from me here, Vanguard newspaper, residents rejoice as Ekiti gets first rainfall of the year. On policies and local food for production, customs revenue rises 16% to 1.6 trillion naira, surpasses targets by 13%. And also, Makinde urges Nigerians to assist families of fallen heroes, alleged certificate forgery. APC Obaseki others to adopt final arguments January 7. Federal government releases 11.8 billion naira pension for MDA retirees. 10 months arrears still outstanding. And woman 24 arrested for allegedly faking her own kidnap in Kwara. And 2020 wasn't good to education. NUT, NANS, NAPTAN, NAPS. Cross River civil servants get dress code to improve service delivery. 50% electricity increase spells doom for production. Dama. World Bank wants global recovery could erode if virus worsens. And lastly, from here, our teachers' salary scale, bureaucracy stalling process, documentation may take place in March.
And from the Nation newspaper, Ekiti government Labour signed minimum wage agreement. Nollywood pays tribute to actress Orishabumi. NIN registration will speed up planning, says Minister Pence. Pelosi evacuated as pro-Trump protesters sack U.S. Congress in session. Wike APC Open 2023 battle. AFDB okay $7 million for mini-grid program. House hold executive responsible for tariffs hike. Nasima man tariffs hike timing wrong. Let's see some more from the Nation newspaper. Documentation stalls 120 billion naira FAN pension fund. Sultan's GNI attacks Kuka. OPEC cut oil by 1,775 barrels per day for February-March. Governor, bandits in North recruited from Mali, Sudan. Christmas, some medicinal herbs in the days of Jesus. Okay, something that could make an interesting read there. To Labour Party will miss alarm. We're going on a short break now. We will be back.
32 FM 94.9.
Guy, what's in the make you scatter house like this, eh? I beg, you help me see my Airtel SIM. I carry and give Shade yesterday, but you know they use am again now. Yay! You don't carry my bonus give landlord picking. Now today you go pack out. On top Airtel SIM? Yes, so if you don't reach 15 days where you never use your Airtel SIM, go find them now. Because why? Obonga will full on top of. Hey, get 2,000 naira airtime plus extra 200 MB for just 200 naira. The more you recharge, the more you are woof. To begin enjoy this awoof, just dial *241*7#. Terms and conditions do.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's the Smart Kids Show! Smart Kids, are you ready to have a happy moment on radio, learning, and at the same time having fun?
How many sevens can we get in 49?
That would be 7.
All right. By how much is 55 more than 33?
55 more than 33. 22.
If you share 16 coconuts among 4 people, what will each get?
4.
That's interesting. How many 3s are there in 18?
5.
And a king had 15 horses. Share amongst 5 people.
3.
Okay, that's interesting. We got a winner this morning.
Then join Auntie Yellow on 32 FM 94.9, Mondays to Fridays, 7 a.m.
Smart Kids Show. Let us learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Are you ready?
When we look at the horizon, we see our followers. And as we keep looking, we are inspired to keep moving. To you all, we say thank you. For our followers on Facebook, you are the best. To those on Twitter and Instagram, we love you. And to our YouTube subscribers, we throw you salute. For those who are yet to join us on the flight, we know you are waiting. So catch us live on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 32FM949 Ibado. And to subscribe to our YouTube channel, it is at 32FM949 Ibado. You are the real heroes. Once again, we say thank you.
32 FM 94.9.
32 FM
94.9.
Alright, welcome back. In case you just joined us, this is 32 FM 94.9 and the program is Breakdown Newspaper Review. My name is DELE ADEYANJU.
Good morning to you. I am OLUTAYO OGUNADE. Dr. OLUTAYO will join us on the program. In a bit, we'll be looking at the headlines together. I know you will say charity begins at home, all right?
Sure.
Yeah, but can we just start abroad today?
Of course, that's the trending news everywhere. So,
come on. We need to talk about Mr. Trump. We need to talk about America this morning before we go to some of the headlines here.
At the same time, we have to relate with Nigeria and other African countries.
Definitely. Good morning to you, Dr. OLUTAYO. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, let's go straight to what is happening in the U.S. This headline here from Premium Times. Pro-Trump protesters breach U.S. Congress building. VP Pence lawmakers evacuated. Vice President Mike Pence of the United States was whisked away to a safe house on Wednesday after protesters supporting President Donald Trump descended on the U.S. Capitol and took over the Congress building. This happened after demonstrators broke through barricades demanding that the November the 3rd, 2020 election be declared in favor of Mr. Trump.
Yes, I think it was quite a movie, quite a drama, because I watched it live. I followed the incident. Many people will say that maybe Nigeria is not as bad as we paint it. But if this could happen in the United States of America, then why all the criticism when we descend to such levels in countries like Nigeria and indeed other countries described as third world? But what's quite clear is that it's unprecedented. That's the first time since the 17th century that the Congress, or the Capitol as it's called, has been breached. And I think it happened after a rally which was organized by Trump, the president himself, protesting, claiming that the elections were fraudulent. And he actually encouraged the people to march on the Congress, to march with him there. But unfortunately, the president didn't march with them, and they went there, and of course, it turned nasty. And I think the vice president was at risk at the point in time, the vice president-elect. And many people say it's an assault on the citadel of liberty. That's what it was described, the citadel of liberty by the president-elect, Joe Biden. Where do they go from there? That's the question. Some people are talking about invoking the 25th Amendment. In other words, declaring that President Trump is no longer fit to continue with his duties and allow power to pass on to the vice president. And whether he's going to get there is another matter entirely. But what's quite interesting is that, the countries that the United States would normally raise some criticisms about through the State Department, countries like Turkey, other countries are actually raising questions about America and telling people to keep calm. And in fact, there was an advisory, it was a joke on Twitter, which says that there are certain parts of America that should be avoided now, which include Washington, D.C. I mean, it's become a laughing matter, but it's actually a serious matter.
All right, Mr. Trump was able to sell a dummy to Americans. That is, let's make America great again. How far? And he spoke about the election also being fraught with a lot of irregularities. Is that the case, or what do you actually make of what is happening there?
Well, almost more than 60 cases were instituted on the court about this election, and every one of them, except one, were thrown out. So it's been tested at the courts, it's been tested at the state legislature, it's been tested, they've been recounting and reevaluating, and no real incident of fraud has been found. In some instances, one or two. And in some instances, it's actually been the Trump supporters who have been identified or think that has actually been involved in fraud. Now, what is quite clear is that President Trump lost, and in order not to accept his loss, he's been going around telling his supporters that he actually won and there was fraud. And in any case, if there was indeed fraud, it should be at the level of the courts, not at the level of the Congress, because the Congress does not have power over elections. In America, elections is a state issue, because they actually practice true federalism in America. It's a state issue, it's not a federal issue. So I think it's just Trump's mischief, and I think there's only one thing going on here. It's a power corrupts. An absolute power corrupts.
Absolutely.
And I think he just wants to retain power.
So who is going to win Trump off his addiction to power?
I don't think that's going to happen. He has 2 weeks to go. But in that 2 weeks, a lot of people say a lot of damage could be done, and that's why people are actively discussing the 25th Amendment. The man is 74. If at 74 you understand you cannot change your stripes at 74. So I don't think it can be weaned up. I think rather the system has to find a way to curtail him. For instance, yesterday, apparently it was Vice President Pence and other officials that were able to get the security under control. I mean, the situation under control by getting the National Guard and other security forces. Not Trump himself. Apparently, Trump was incapacitated and just watching the scene on television. In fact, some people were saying he was doing it with glee, which is rather unfortunate. And he asked some questions about his health, whether indeed he's indeed fit to run the largest democracy in the world.
All right, Dele, some feel that the Senate climb laurel was lost yesterday.
Dr. Dedoku, is it? Is there any time we've had it that bad in Africa?
There have been seizures of mazes by Omar Gege and so on and so forth. There have been the Wild Wild West in those days, during the Akintola era. And there have been some incidents which are close to that. And you remember that when Oshibaji was acting president, that the National Assembly was invaded, but this time it was invaded by security forces, and people had to resist. The members had to resist. So yes, it's been bad in Africa, but we are described as third world. I don't accept that appellation, but we are described as third world. So you would think that, in Africa, those sort of things are tolerated and accepted. But in America, which is supposed to be industrialized, the truth about it is that there are vast swathes of America who are not really that exposed, from that point of view, who are really insular, and globalization has sort of exposed them. And because globalization has exposed them, it's exposed them to the blunt edge. What I mean by blunt edge is expose them to things like poverty and to the fact that their way of life cannot continue as normal before. And people are reacting against it in America. They are reacting against it in the sense to say, our way of life cannot be changed. But the reality of it is that in a globalized world, everybody's exposed, even in America. And I think that is why a lot of people in America, the uninformed particularly, are reacting and saying, no, we will not accept change because this change is going to be detrimental to us. And I think that's what Trump has tapped into. He's tapped into the impact and the effect of globalization, and the fact that many and the large swathes of America are largely uninformed and not really exposed.
All right. The unfortunate thing here, Doctor, is that the action of what we saw yesterday could embolden some other, embolden rascality in the democracy of other nations. As they will say, since if it can happen in America, why can't we also replicate?
Well, there are three major impacts that could happen. First and foremost, there appears to be a lacuna in terms of America's global leadership at this point in time, and it could be exploited by rogue nations. It could be exploited by countries who are up to some mischief. That's the first one. But the second point is the point you've been made, that it would embolden a lot of dictators and a lot of people, even countries like China, I'm sorry to say, and other countries, to do things which otherwise they wouldn't have done because they would fear that, America will intervene, or they will look at the example of America. America is described as a shiny city on the hill. A shiny city on the hill. Today, America cannot be described as a shiny city on the hill because certainly the example has not been set.
Okay, the Twitter president has lost his Twitter
handle for 12 hours, Facebook and Twitter.
Let's come back home. Let's come back home, Dele. Right.
All right. I have a report here. A former U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, John Campbell, says the fresh arrest and prosecution of Sahara reporters publisher Amoyele Sowore may give the incoming Joe Biden administration a bad impression of the regime of Nigerian President Major General Muhammadu Buhari retired.
Yes, I think the Sowore arrest on the New Year Day, I think, was quite unfortunate. I think it was an attack on fundamental rights. In fact, they are trying to rope Sowore and saying that, well, illegal assembly. It cannot be an illegal assembly. You know, the curfew wasn't in place. Apart from that, it's entitled to peaceful assembly. So also the fact that his bail is still being denied up till date, up till now, raises some fundamental questions. Is he a criminal? Is he a terrorist? Is he an insurrectionist? Some people will say no. And one wonders why the government is spending political capital going after Sowore. In fact, they're making Sowore to be a hero, bringing him up onto the plantain of heroes. Many people would have said Sowore is not necessarily on that level, but now he is, because he's being persecuted on a regular basis and is taking a stand. So, of course, when the new government comes to the US government, of course they will raise questions. But it will be within Nigeria's right to say, well, such things are also going on in your country.
Yeah.
Similar things. So you can't point accusing fingers at us.
All right. Okay. Yeah, civil servants in Kano State yesterday said that they had been left confused following unexplained slashes in their November and December salaries. Some civil servants said they were left with less than the old minimum wage of 18,000 naira. Officials of the state government denied reverting to the old minimum wage, insisting that there were only deductions because of the prevailing recession in the country occasioned by COVID-19.
I think it's a responsibility on the part of government. We have a state like Oyo State paying the 13th salary which they are not obliged to pay, and we have a state like Oyo State increasing the IGR, and we have Kano State, you understand, slashing, reducing, and not able to meet the contractual entitlement of the workers. I think it's a disgrace, and I think it tells you something that when government goes wrong, then of course salaries are at risk. They're at risk there because they haven't planned adequately. If Oyo State can do it in a pandemic and can increase its IGR, then there's no reason why any other state, including Kano, which is supposed to be supposedly, if you believe what the census says, to be the largest state in the country with one of the large allocations and supposed to have a significant IGR. So it's quite unfortunate, and I think the government has to find a way. Either they slash the number of special advisors, or they reduce their all that recurrent expenditure, but they must meet their contractual obligation. And if they can't, then of course they have to find other things for the workers to do and engage them in other more profitable ventures. So it's rather unfortunate that the government is having to resort to this, but it's a byproduct of maladministration, some would say, and some would say it's a byproduct of lack of visionary thinking.
All right, if leadership is about showing empathy, who should bear the brunt here? If the economy is bad as a result of COVID-19, who should bear the brunt? The people or those in public office?
Well, I think everybody should bear it, but you should start first with those in public office. You should take demonstrable and evident steps to show that you are bearing the brunt first. You cut your salaries, you cut your allowances, you know, unnecessary expenditure, you cut it out. Once you've done that, then you can then begin to say we are all in it together. But if you are still living the same high life all over the place, and then you're cutting that of the workers, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. And that's part of the problem. Leadership should be by example. Leadership should be by sacrifice. Leadership should be out there ahead of the people, not just luxuriating on the misery that people are engaged in.
All right, there's a report on one of the pages of the Vanguard. Various stakeholders in the education sector in the country have said, 2020 was not good to the sector, saying it's negatively affected the fortunes of education in Nigeria. Some of them even prayed that the nation should not experience such a year again, going by the devastating effects of happenings in the year on education in the country. That was a year when there was no provision for almost all the private school teachers when people suffered. And now COVID-19 is still in existence, and in fact in another form, and we are hoping that there won't be any lockdown. So what do we expect this year, and relate that with the issue of IGR and all that?
Well, first and foremost, if you're talking about the education sector, particularly the private education sector, I think the government did very little to intervene. on their behalf, because many of the schools rely on students, and it's the students that give them their income, and it's this income that allows them to pay staff and allows them to, improve the schools and so on and so forth. And of course, if that continues this year, then of course, except the federal government intervenes in the way they've intervened in other industries, a lot of schools, a lot of teachers are going to remain unpaid. I think the scandal of last year is not just the fact that many people in the educational sector were not paid. I think the scandal is that many of them are being paid subhuman salaries. I'm sorry to use that expression, but salaries which are below the minimum wage don't make sense at all. And so we are hoping that even if there's the pandemic or shutdown, and that education will be prioritized, because we have to invest in what we call internet, in social, and align our children through social media. I know some state television stations are doing a lot on the television, but accessibility to social media, so that students can keep on learning, particularly at the primary and at the secondary level. It's important also at the university level, but those can take care of themselves. So I think more investment needs to go in, and I hope that the budgets that have been passed will also reflect that education must take a lion's share. Because if we do not leverage our education, then we are unable to get to the advanced economies. Most advanced economies are there because they've invested so much in education, and we don't seem to be doing that.
Now, for elementary classes, do you think the online learning was effective?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I think what they tried to do was they also tried to do it on television and stuff. It wasn't, because it's very difficult if these students are not led, or these students are not facilitated at that level, to really engage them, on social media. So it's not that easy. And then apart from that, how many of these children have the real access to social media? Not so many of them. Maybe the middle class, which is fast disappearing in Nigeria. But many of the people that are not middle class do not have access to the devices which allow them to engage social media for learning, the internet for learning. So except government invest in the way they claim to have done in Osun State some years ago, where some of these facilities are provided, or some of the centers are provided. Yes, Opoimo.
Opoimo never lasted 1 year.
Well, that is, and that's why I'm saying that we don't want that kind of intervention. We want a sustained intervention, and maybe you need to get some element of private sector involved, but there must be an alternative to students just staying at home and doing nothing. They have to be engaged, and we have to find ways to engage them creatively through the social media, but they have to have access to it.
All right.
Okay, let's say some more headline here. Let's take something from the NERC. We adjusted, didn't increase electricity tariff, says NERC. It will not affect low-income areas. Reps panel chief says adjustment lawful.
I understand that in Ghana, water and electricity in some areas were suspended during this pandemic. And I don't see Nigeria, country the size of Nigeria, why some kind of relief cannot be offered, particularly to those on low income during this time. I think it's not, the explanation is not good enough that it will not affect the low-income people. The evidence suggests that it's affecting low-income, medium-income people. There must be ways in which the tariffs can be organized in such a way that when the economy is not really moving, then people are not necessarily overburdened. The problem you get is when you get people to pay more for electricity, is that there's less money in their pocket, and therefore the economy does not grow, because there's less money for people to spend. And so the government should find a way, whether it's going to be, I know people are going to shout and say it's coming to pay, whether it's going to be by subsidy of some sort, they must find a way. They can't keep on increasing. The government has denied it, yes, they didn't increase a second time, but it's quite obvious that there's something going on.
They also said the tariff, could fluctuate, downward as it obtained in the oil sector. That is not, cast in stone, is not fixed.
Occasionally comes down, then it bounces right up. So I don't think most people hold much hope for the fact that it's going to come down. It is a function of the market, I agree, because a lot of investment needs to be made into our electricity infrastructure, but not at this time. Not at this time, when people are going through so much pain, when there's a lot of loss of income, when really the economy is at its lowest ebb. They should find an appropriate time, not this time.
All right, Dr. Jadokun, the price of a bag of the cost of a bag of cement was 2,400 naira before. Now it's 30,700 naira, and of course this has generated protests in a part of the country, Sokoto, to be precise.
We would also accept and understand that there's a virtual monopoly when it comes to cement in the country. That's part of the issue. Part of the issue is that you have the monopoly and they can fix their prices more or less at will. But also it's a function of the economy. Inflation has gone up, of course, and there are many factors that concern that transportation, some of the inputs that go to produce it and so on and so forth. But it's still not an excuse. I think that the government in some sort of way has to intervene, because if it remains at that level, then all the indices, all the projections in the budget are really going to be thrown overboard, because it means that the cement, the budget was probably based on 3,000 something, or sorry, 2,000 something, and now it's 3,700. So of course there will be protests by people, and I hope that the monopoly that exists in that area is somehow reduced, so that at least we can have more competitive prices, and prices that reflect the reality of the situation in Nigeria.
Are we expecting government to intervene in bringing down the cost of cement, bringing down the cost of the rate of electricity, providing water, and all of this? How soon do you think government will act on all these things, or are we just making this for the sake of commentaries?
No, it's priority. It is priority, isn't it? If we are not spending money, I'll give you an instance. The National Institute of Legislative Studies, they're spending 17 billion on it. And most universities, the budget they spend on the federal universities are 7 billion, 4 billion, 7 billion. It's priority, isn't it? If our priorities are right, there's some of this money to be spent on some of the things I've suggested. For instance, cement, we're not asking that the government spends this money. What we're asking is that there should be structural readjustment, where it is not just one humongous company, I'm not going to mention their name, that has a monopoly, but allow other people also to enter into the market. But a lot of things is priority. People would have said during Ajumabi's time that the IGR, there's not much you can do with the IGR. Another man came in, Makinde came in, and the IGR was tripled, if not even more. So there are possibilities when people are engaged in clean, transparent, and accountability governance. Things can move on, and things can move to the next level. So Nigeria is not that we don't have the money, as it were. It's that the money is being spent in the wrong areas.
All right. As at 2012, August precisely, we read that Nigeria had, a deficit of 17 million houses. We speak about, housing deficit in the country. And if we had to buy a bag of cement for this price, for some of us who would like to just put maybe a room and a parlor somewhere, that would be difficult.
Yes, indeed it will be, because obviously cement is one of the major components when it comes to building from that point of view. And the government has two ways to approach this. Either they smash the monopoly, or either they subsidize, people who are building from that point of view. I would rather prefer that they smash the monopoly, so at least the prices can come to a lower level, so that the deficit that you've mentioned can be addressed. Because the government cannot address the deficit by building. They can only build so much. It has to be left for the individual, from that point of view, either through loans or through mortgages or so on and so forth. So yes, you raise a very, very cogent point. And the government really has to look at a strategy in terms of addressing this deficit in terms of housing.
We don't even know how much the Federal Mortgage Bank is doing.
Well, they're doing their business, tickety boom, as some people will say. But the reality of it is that a lot of people that benefit from it are the middle class, upper middle class, and so on and so forth. And those with connections.
Somebody.
Yes, you know somebody. Not those with the low income, and that's part of the issue. So that's why we must commend this federal government to a certain extent. This low cost that they've come about in Abuja. But the low cost is only how many units? 300 units or how many units? They're not many, so only a few people benefit. And so the government, has to find a way to intervene. It's either you pump money to the federal mortgage bank so that they are able to give more loans, from that point of view, or you find more creative ways to get credit to people, so that people, because these are monies that people are going to be expected to pay back. We're not talking about giving freebies. We're expecting about giving people credit so that the economy can grow. With credit, with borrowing, the economy can grow and people can pay back over a period of time. That's how it's done in advanced countries. We should borrow a leaf.
I build my own house, I sink my own well, I provide my own electricity.
So what's the use of government?
I'm a government. I am.
Yes, we are local government. We are local government in our own right. And so we have to begin to ask the question, what is the use of government? If all the amenities and all the facilities have to be produced by yourself, security, everything, then you begin to question the rationale for government. And government, some people say, exists only to collect taxes. That shouldn't be the role of government alone. It should be much more than that.
Thank you, Dr. Oluwajedeko.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Quickly, we take a break for some messages. Stay with us.
Honey, must you go?
Babe, you know I'm lost. Besides, you can always video call me.
Hey, what if your battery runs out?
I've got my power bank.
Hey, and when your power bank runs out?
Babe, I've got my laptop.
Okay, wait. What if your data runs out?
Babe, you know we never run out of data.
Never run out of data with Airtel Home Broadband Unlimited Ultra plans. Enjoy unlimited data with no speed cap plus extra data daily, so you never have to worry about running out. Visit www.airtel.com.ng/HBB to get started.
Babe, but I just left the house.
Yes, honey. It's video calling all the way.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
ọ̀rẹ́ so ti dọ́fíìsì wọn ṣé mo ṣe wí lórí àwọn èròjà solar tí mo sọ fún ọ so rí wọn níbẹ̀ lọ́pọ̀ sọ́jà wọn wọ́n jù so ti rojúlówó Novest solar product tó jẹ́ ojúlówó ní Novest solar shop so ń gbádùn products wọn.
gbogbo béèrè tó béèrè lọ́wọ́ mi pátá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo bá.
generator lóríṣiríṣi tó ń lo solar tí náà fi lè ṣẹ́jú ní tòjò tẹ̀rùn solar water ball iṣẹ́ tiẹ̀ ní kó fami nínú kànga láì lóná ọba solar street light tí ó fààyè gbòkùnkùn bírímù solar fans lóríṣiríṣi tó ń bá ooru bẹ́ẹ̀ fọn wọ̀yá àjà ní Novest solar shops yìí fitimuni solar panel fún títà lórí inverters batteries tó jẹ́ ojú mi dá solar kit solar generator tó ń ro iná lágbára ní gbogbo ìgbà láì sanwó oṣooṣù.
wọ́n rẹ̀ ìròyìn ọ̀tá fojúbà nǹkan kan mo wá lọ ṣùgbọ́n ọjà mẹ́fà mo kó jáde ńbẹ̀.
fún ìwọ tó o ti mọ̀ ó pé ọkọ ra solar product ní Novest solar shop kàn sí Novest solar shop ní Ìbàdàn office Akíndélé plaza opposite Alámọ̀sẹ̀gbà stadium Èkó tẹ̀dó Ìbàdàn telephone 08058544486 ó pé ọ kó o rajà ní Novest solar shop.
Oya everybody ẹ kàwé ìròyìn bàbá fẹ́ ń dọ̀ ìròyìn àsìkò tó ń gbóná bàbá fẹ́ ń dọ̀ ó ń gbóná yọ bọ́tà bàbá fẹ́ ń dọ̀ ìròyìn tó ṣàprápra bàbá fẹ́ ń dọ̀ ìròyìn ìpínlẹ̀ bàbá fẹ́ ń dọ̀ jákèjádò kálẹ̀ kákó bàbá fẹ́ ń dọ̀ ẹgbà ẹ̀rà ẹ̀ka bàbá fẹ́ ń dọ̀ ẹ̀yẹ̀wò ẹ̀wòwò ẹ̀gbọ́wò ẹ̀gbàwò bàbá fẹ́ ń dọ̀ dé.
Bọ́ńpáì fún ọ̀kan òjọ̀kan ìròyìn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè rẹ máa gbọ́ bàbá fẹ́ ń dọ̀ níkànnì adẹ́rìnpòṣónú 32 FM 94.9 lọ́jọ́ ọjọ́ ajé Monday sọ́jọ́ ẹtì Friday bẹ̀rẹ̀ láago 8 sáago 9 àbọ̀ òwúrọ̀ àti láago 8 àbọ̀ sáago 9 òwúrọ̀ lọ́jọ́ àbámẹ́ta Sátidé bàbá fẹ́ ń dọ̀ ìfitónilétí tó yanrantí.
Hey, why una dey do her like this now? She offend una.
Mommy, what is it? Why are you crying?
Ejiro, people heartless oh. See wetin they do Anita.
Mama, who is Anita?
My dear, just leave Mama oh. She's in a world of her own with this movie she's watching on Airtel TV. You too can get special streaming 500 MB data for just 100 Naira to stream movies, series, music videos, and more. The best part is, you don't have to use your main data. Just dial *141 *106# now.
Hey Mama, Anita don't see better man Mario. Just look at God.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
32 FM
94.9.
Alright, welcome back. It's still 32 FM 94.5. Broken is paper review.
94.9.
Sorry, pardon me, 94.9. The time is coming up to 15 minutes before 7 o'clock. Quickly, we just have to mention that unfortunate incident that happened yesterday. I was in, we call it a hostel, and I heard that very loud noise. What happened? I was like, maybe some people are playing, but that noise was thunderous. Eventually, we realized that people got injured and one person lost his life. It was a maintenance routine or something, or they were trying to fix a very bad lift, actually. My heart goes out to the family of the affected people and the deceased, actually.
Yeah, we commiserate with the family of the man who lost his life, and those who sustained injury also. And with the management of Odua, it was an unfortunate incident. People called, to check on us as a station and the people, and of course, we are safe. We thank God. We also hope that some of these preventable deaths, we can also guard against it.
Yeah.
All right, against future occurrence. It's important. What we need to do, let's do. All right, to prevent things like this happening around us. We are not desensitized to things like this, and so when it happens, we should speak up, and correct the wrong where we should.
Yeah. And I want to thank everyone that called to inquire about our welfare and how we're doing, to know that we are safe at 32 FM 94.9 yesterday.
We open the phone lines now for you, dear listener. 0809 7949 0906 2949 to join the conversation in the studio. We take the first call here. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sean.
Oh, Sean, good to have you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I won't say the elections, but the elections have come and gone. I would say it clearly. I think the biggest mistake that America ever made was making Donald Trump the president of that country. At this point, the man is legit going to scatter everything. He does not care what is going to happen. As it stands, all the democratic and values of the American system that made her the pride of the world for centuries has been eroded under this man's president. In a functioning democracy like the American one, Donald Trump should be in court by now, should be in prison for all the things he has done. He continues to stay up chaotic water, talking about how he won't be sorted. And one thing this man feels to know that in a working democracy, if you feel cheated, you approach the court of law. If you approach the court of law and the court feels that there are no remedies for you, you drink water and sleep. That is what the democracy is.
Oh. He has insulted everyone, even the judiciary in America.
Yes, but see, you see, one thing I just want to do, when the Republicans, the GOP continues to shout that there's voter fraud, I can only tell you one thing. It means that black voters actually came out to vote in the past, in previous elections, that means and this time around, they came out en masse to vote. It was unexpected, and as such, that's why he continues to shout around and stuff like that. I want you to know one thing. At this point, Donald Trump should not even be allowed to use these 2 weeks. The 25th Amendment that should be invoked by now, because the man is unable to do his job. Yesterday, he was even attacking his vice president.
Tayo, one thing is, Trump has always been Trump. That's always. So I don't know why people are like.
Can you call it from Wara?
Yeah, but only Dawara.
I don't know.
So that's been Trump all the while.
If you can get it, let's scatter the whole thing.
Hello.
Bole Kaja politics. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, okay.
Yes, like the first caller I just talked. I just want to talk about the show of shame of Donald Trump. Also, I laughed it off. It just shows you that there is madness that is in every politician. So I begin to wonder, and like you just said too, it just tells you that that thing is in every politician who wouldn't want to give in to accept defeat. This man has been roundly, let me use our roundly defeated. I think he should just accept and move on. Instigating people to cause trouble. Let me use against himself because he is the government now. We stop debt. We actually have this shouldn't be happening. And on Kanu, I ask a question, please. I think the governor should just reduce this their senior special advisor, personal this, that. Even it got to a level that the senior special advisor have advisors. That is actually would have reduced or reducing the minimum wage. This is trying to bring trouble. Good morning.
All right, thank you, okay, for calling. We can still take more calls. 0809 7949, 08097 009 7949, or 0906 2949. Hello, good morning.
To honor me.
Thank you, John and Joko. 009 7949. Puchueke, we saw your message on YouTube. We'll definitely attend to that. Thank you very much. 0906 2009 the line to call to join the conversation. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Kala. All right, thank you. 0906 200949, 0809 7949. You can drop your headlines on YouTube, and you can send text messages to those two numbers. We're still expecting your calls. We have quite some time to spend. 0809 7949. Good morning. Morning.
When a governor can rise up and try to increase the IGR of a state, and it has never happened in a state like this, automatically the Oyo State Governor Shimakide is trying to bring new Nigeria from Oyo State. For example, in this during the COVID period in other countries, you can see a country is giving a great palliative to their masses, to their citizens. And if you can see a governor bring some...
Oh, okay, I lost that call. 0906 200949, 0809 7949. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please, I want to ask questions. What are the provisions made for the people that are not civil servants in this state? This is Omubashon.
All right, that's a question there. We can still take more calls. Bring in your headlines through call 0809 7949, 0906 200949. I know some people already have those numbers. They already have those numbers. Shortly, we're going to take a break for some messages. Hello. Hello. Good morning.
Africa, and now you see most of the impact everywhere. Nobody is doing anything. In fact, the environment of our state is unfavorable now. You see houses littered here and there. I don't know any of the government that are working in our state now. And the Oyo State governor is trying to please everybody. But you know that the people that he's trying to please now are the same people that will castigate him and bring him down just to count the second time, because he's doing it to win second time, but he's not good. And he was doing the anomalous work, which is supposed to continue. But he has discarded them and taken that he wants to please everybody. He cannot please everybody. People that are close to him should advise him that he should sit up. The Oyo State is returning back to the old state, the dictators, and there is many states in Africa, and this is very bad. It's unfortunate. Thank you, good morning.
Well, thank you.
Tayo, I think before we go, we have to quickly say this about the Nigerian Communications Commission. The NCC has clarified that what is described as the unfounded fears of mass disconnection of telephone subscribers. In a statement on Wednesday signed by its Public Affairs Director, it said that its attention has been drawn to numerous publications in the media space regarding the matter of mass disconnection. So that's not going to happen for now. So people should just keep calm and make sure that they do it in due course. Hello, good morning.
Assurance from NCC.
Morning, Oloyede. Well, thank you so much. I think that's our show today. Thank you so much for listening to the program. 32 FM 94.9. Is it? Join us tomorrow for another edition of the program. All right.
My name is OLUTAYO. OGUNADE. Have a fine lady here. She is Gbemi. Good morning to you, Gbemi.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone listening.
All right, my name is DELE ADEYANJU. That means you are doing intro memo or introduction. What's popping? What's happening?
All right, so Gbemi will join the team, and of course, very soon to be hearing her voice on the paper review. Gbemi, it's good to have you around also.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
All right, so we'll wrap up at this time. Join us tomorrow.
Guy, what's in the make you scatter house like this? I beg, you help me see my Airtel SIM. I carry and give Shade yesterday, but you know they use him again now.
Yay! You don't carry my bonus give landlord picking. Now today you go pack out.
On top Airtel SIM?
Yes, so if you don't reach 15 days where you never use your Airtel SIM, go find them now. Because why? Obonga will full on top of. Hey, get 2,000 naira airtime plus extra 200 MB for just 200 naira. The more you recharge, the more you are woofo. To begin enjoy this awoof, just dial *241*7#. Terms and conditions do.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's a brand new day and I'm feeling the heat. I walk into the bathroom so I can hit the street. I'm not just looking for a shower, I'm looking for a drive. I feel like no other confidence through a nice and cool chill. It's an all-in-one soap, so dope, cause it kills germs, makes you fly, got you smelling so fresh. Yeah, plus it's Premier Cool season, it got me feeling fresh for no reason. Yeah. Stay chilled with Premier Cool toilet soap. Removes 99.9% of germs and contains real menthol extracts for that icy